massive manhunt and weeks of mourning, a bizarre twist in the September death of an Illinois police officer. Good afternoon, I'm Katie Link. Officials now say Lieutenant Joseph Glinowitz wasn't killed by armed suspects. They say he killed himself. Officials held a news conference this morning saying Glinowitz staged his own death after committing, quote, extensive criminal acts. Fox Lake police officials say he embezzled tens of thousands of dollars in funds meant to go to the Police Explorers program. NBC News is reporting he used the funds for mortgage payments, travel expenses, gym memberships, and even adult websites. Police say the man once hailed as a hero was anything but.
Glinowitz committed the ultimate betrayal to the citizens he served and the entire law enforcement community. The facts of his actions proved he behaved for years in a manner completely contrary to the image he portrayed.
Investigators say the embezzlement occurred over a 7-year period. They also found that Glinowitz forged his signature on official documents. The Supreme Court has called off the execution of a Columbia man. Ernest Lee Johnson's death warrant was set to expire at 6 tonight. Johnson is on death row for killing 3 people at a Columbia Casey's General Store back in 1994. His execution process was originally set to start at 6 p.m. last night. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a stay because there are concerns the state's execution method might cause him pain. Documents say Johnson had a brain tumor and that there are concerns from his legal team that a lethal injection might cause seizures because of the injuries. Columbia voters made their voices heard, voting to keep the park sales tax. Nearly 71% of the roughly 8,500 people who turned out voted to keep the tax in place for another 6 years. City officials say the renewal will raise more than $18 million in park funding. In other election news, voters rejected a tax increase for Harrisburg schools, and Cooper County voters also rejected a tax increase. To view all of the results from yesterday's election, visit our website at KOMU.com. Early morning construction along Scott Boulevard is disturbing the sleep of some Columbia residents this week. KOMU 8's Andrew A. Bear is in the studio to tell us how long this disruption will go on.
Several residential areas are impacted by the Scott Boulevard construction project. Early morning disturbances should be finished by the end of the week.
A group of students upset about racial issues at MU is boycotting all sales on campus. The group is called Concerned Student 1950. Member Storm Irvin says the boycott will continue until system president Tim Wolf steps down. She says if the university won't hear their voices, then they won't earn their money. She says the group will still use the amenities on campus it is already paid for, but will not spend any extra money. And right now, students are getting ready for a news conference to show support for that boycott. The Concerned Student 1950 group has been camping out on MU's quad. They're hosting a news conference at 1 p.m. to call for the removal of system president Tim Wolf. One graduate student says he's on a hunger strike. He says it will only end if Wolf is removed. Also right now, we have breaking news. The AP is reporting that 5 people were stabbed on the University of California Merced campus. Campus police report a suspect was shot and killed. 5 students have been treated for stab wounds. The campus remains closed and classes are canceled. Columbia police are investigating an armed robbery at the Conley Road Walmart. Police say 2 people in their car in the store's parking lot when a man pointed a gun at them and demanded money. The man took the victim's cash and left the scene in a nearby vehicle. Luckily, nobody was hurt. Anyone with information is asked to call Columbia Police or Crime Stoppers. An Eldon woman is dead following a car crash in Miller County. It happened last night on Route W at Cotton Road near Lake Ozark. Troopers say 45-year-old Lisa Merrick lost control of her SUV in a curve and ran off the road. The truck overturned down an embankment and injected her. She was not wearing a seatbelt. The Miller County coroner pronounced her dead on the scene. Houston voters rejected a proposed ordinance yesterday that would have established non-discrimination protections for gay, lesbian, and transgender residents. The ordinance drew national attention after opponents dubbed it the bathroom ordinance and released campaigns saying the bill would allow sexual predators into public women's restrooms. The ordinance, called the Houston Equal Rights Ordinance, or HERO, was rejected by a vote of 61% to 39%. Houston's mayor says she plans to keep fighting to enact the measure. The woman accused of purposely driving her car into a crowd at the Oklahoma State University homecoming parade has officially been charged. 25-year-old Adacia Chambers faces 4 counts of second-degree murder and 46 counts of felony assault. You'll remember 4 people were killed when police say she accelerated into a crowd of spectators. Chambers remains in jail with a $1 million bond. If convicted, she'll face at least 10 years in prison for each of the second-degree murder charges. More bad news for Volkswagen. Yesterday, the company admitted that an additional 800,000 vehicles could be fitted with devices used to cheat on emission tests. This new number is in addition to the 11 million vehicles Volkswagen said were affected back in September. The EPA also alleges that the company used similar cheating software in more than 10,000 other vehicles. Volkswagen has denied that claim. Winter has officially arrived in Arizona. Flagstaff, Arizona received 4.5 inches of snow this morning. Today's snowfall could break a record. Back in 1925, the city received 5 inches during the first snowfall of the season. Well, as of right now, they're only half an inch short, and forecasters say there is more on the way. Schools there are opening on a 2-hour delay. Snow in this area of Arizona is common, but it usually doesn't start falling until closer to Thanksgiving. Well, I can't say I'm jealous of that, but we've had a pretty mild start to November. Tori, you're tracking some rain?
Yeah, Katie, we do finally have more rain. Timing of that coming up in just a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Tori. Winter weather may not be here quite yet, but MoDOT's winter team is in full force today. 3,500 MoDOT employees are testing winter operations in a statewide drill that began this morning. During the drill, MoDOT employees are acting as if a forecast called for snow across the state and every road is covered. The drill is to help get all of the bugs worked out before the snow season actually arrives. Every snowplow driver will run their normal routes. MoDOT is urging you to be cautious if you see snow trucks out on the road today.
You'll see trucks with the front plows, with some of the side plows. If you see those trucks, they're kind of getting used to their routes and navigating what they're going to be doing this winter. So just stay back from a little bit, give them some room. We're still doing a little bit of training with those new operators and getting them comfortable and making sure we're ready to go when that first flake flies.
This is the 4th year MoDOT has done a statewide drill. The Capital Regional Medical Center will be hosting an Alzheimer's awareness workshop this afternoon. The purpose is to educate the public about detecting early symptoms. About 110,000 people in Missouri are affected by Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's Association estimates that Missouri will see an 18% increase in the disease. This change is significantly lower than the estimated national increase of 40%. Joetta Cohen, Director of Programs and Services, says an aging baby boomer population is just one of the factors contributing to the increase.
Physicians are diagnosing Alzheimer's disease more accurately, so we're seeing more diagnoses being made.
She says physicians are diagnosing more patients, but about half of the population with the disease is never formally diagnosed. Online reviews can help you figure out where to eat or which stores to steer clear of, but writing one could get you in trouble. See how later in the show.